Is it possible for AI to become sentient?
Yes.
It is possible.
It's not whether it's possible, it's going to happen.
We are going to lose control of it.
We're going to lose control.
We develop this thing.
Yeah.
It is plug in, plug out, right? So we can easily go and plug this thing out.
Remember that this is a very dicey topic. You're talking about intelligence. You put the button, the switch off button here. You are not just building a radio transistor. You are building intelligence. It knows that that's my off button. It's going to be the undoing of it all.
It's not just among companies, it's among nations as well.
It's among leaders of the world, yes.
And in your words, it's going to be the undoing on all of fun.
I am telling you, yes.
And these people are out there, but we are still going.
Yes, we're still going.
So that's like making a decision whether or not I would leave, and not asking me my opinion, not saying we are developing this thing. It can destroy people in Africa, and then nobody cares. I mean, if it destroys us, it destroys us. If it doesn't, I mean, and we are not in the conversation.
Only in Africa, right? We're never on the table because we are the menu.
Why is everybody pretending, especially those who understand the consequences? Why are they not saying, okay, can we all sit in a round table and say, as much as we want money, we want to stay alive, more than we want money, and let's sign an agreement. We will not advance AI beyond a certain level.
Humans are insatiable. It's a thing. We understand the risk, but nobody wants to be left behind. Nobody wants to be left behind.
Before we continue, this episode is proudly sponsored by Growthly Nebza Solution, a leading research, training, and consultancy firm, helping individuals, organizations, and government agencies make smarter decisions and build stronger teams. Growthly provides data collection, research, capacity building programs, and workforce development training designed to improve productivity, leadership, and organizational efficiency. If your organization needs high-quality insight, training, and support in building high-performance workforce, visit www.growthly.com.ng or connect with Growthly on all social media platforms. Now, let's continue with the episode.
On today's episode, we'll be talking about something very, very important, something that will shape your life and my life. The future is changing before us, and it is important for us to keep tabs with the future that is coming. I'm sure you've heard of the word artificial intelligence, but do you know what it actually means and the future that artificial intelligence is going to create for you and I? And this is why this topic is incredibly important. Today, I have the very rare privilege of having one guest that I am super, super privileged to have access to. Somebody that has mentored me and has mentored a lot of young people. And those people are doing very, very well in their different spheres. His name is Isah Raphael. He is the CEO of GreyHub Technologies. GreyHub Technologies do a lot of things. Part of what they do is that they train people in tech skills, so data science, web development. They're also the leading voice in virtual reality when it comes to the northern part of Nigeria. They do a lot, and I'm sure you're going to get to know some of the things that they do. So today we have Dr. Isah Raphael. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
We are super, super excited to have you on today's episode. But before we go into the discussions proper, do you want to tell us more about GreyHub Technologies? What you do? I know that there is always something new about GreyHub Technologies, and I cannot keep tabs with everything that is, coming up.
Okay, so briefly, it's actually GreySoft Technologies.
Okay.
And GreySoft Technologies has 4 arms. So at GreySoft, generally, our vision is an increased access to digital opportunities for Africans. And we do that by helping people leverage technology for improved livelihood. And in terms of, our values, people, it's just right there at the center of what we do. So all that we do is about people, and empowering people. But very importantly, there are 4 main services that we offer at GreySoft Technologies. First of which is Grey Hub, which is what he had just said. Grey Hub is an innovation hub where we nurture talents, incubate startup incubation and acceleration. And it's also a co-working space for people who are looking to innovate. So at Grace Hub Technologies, there are four main things that we do. What we do are spread across four subheadings. There's a Grey Transform, there's Grey Hub, there's Grey Tech, and there's Grey Academy. The Academy, from the last, is where we do digital literacy training and TVET as well. TVET will be technical, vocational education and training, for people, as well as digital skills. All of that falls in Grey Academy. In terms of Grey Transform, it's digital transformation. So we do policy documents for government as well as whatever organization that are willing to have a technology roadmap to spread out technology. Grey Hub is a technology innovation hub, where we do startup incubation and acceleration, as well as co-working space for people who are willing to innovate, and all of that. And Grey Tech is where we do all things virtual reality, emerging technologies, agri-technology, and building of all of these sort of interesting innovations for diverse sectors. I think we have a couple of startups that are launching early next year, and that will be something to really look forward to, because those are really transformational. So indeed, that's what we do at Grace Hub.
Interesting. It feels like you do everything that has to do with, like you said, people, and then tech, the academy, the innovation, incubation, the tech part and all of that. That's really, really wonderful. Sometimes when I sit across people who do a lot, right, I begin to wonder, do we all have the same 24 hours? Because this is like heading, I get that it's one company, but this is a different branches of the company that can be a standalone company all by itself, right? But you are able to stay at the center and navigate everything that has to do with that. Can you tell us how you're able to just do that very briefly? How are you able to, sit and then ensure that all of these different branches of Greysoft is, working at the same time and, doing well?
So I think, like the saying goes, everything rises and falls on leadership, right? So it comes with a clear vision to start with that has been clearly articulated, planned, and properly delegated, to really, strong people who have the knowledge to carry out this industry leaders who are able to lead the different sectors. So most people, are unable to have that. Like, people don't have a clear vision. People have very changing visions. You tell them, if you meet them year on, year out, what they say about their company is different. It looks like it's changing and stuff. So I think the need for us, we're able to establish that really well. And secondly, we have a really strong corporate governance. Like a very interesting board that is able to help us stay with our vision and help us ensure that we are going in the right direction. And finally, it comes down to what I had said earlier: the leadership of the different arms. People who are in charge of these different arms are strong people who understand that sector, these industries, and have the passion to drive it to see success. So it's not so much as a one-man show. It's just that the leadership is strong, and the very people who are handling the subcomponents are excellent industry leaders, by themselves. So by a long shot, I do think that delegation, is just a cheat code when it comes to handling a couple of things. People who are able to delegate properly, especially to people who understand this, whatever sector they're working on, are able to have more than 24 hours in a day.
Okay.
Dangote, for example, I can say that he uses 10,000 hours a day. Right? Because he buys your hours. If he pays you to work, he has bought your hours and added those to his, stuff and all of that. And I said that's what it comes down to. Whether you're able to do this, whether you're able to see clearly, whether you're able to delegate properly, whether you're able to get strong hands to get stuff done, and whether you're able to have the leadership to, lead on this too.
Interesting. I've always thought we all have 24 hours in a day. I didn't know that other people have more, more than 24 hours. Now to the discussion, all right? And for our audience, brace yourself, this conversation might shed light into information that you don't know existed and into things that you probably should start considering. And I noticed that for most of us, especially in this part of the world, we don't talk about AI safety, we don't talk about AI ethics. Most of our discussion is centered around how do we use AI and all of that. So today, we want to look at AI, the problems that it comes with it, and the opportunities that AI, presents. In the Western world, there are people who are talking about ethics, safety, and then who are trying to ensure that their government, bring in policies that will ensure that, this technology is developed with safety in mind and with ethics in mind. And I remember when AI first came on board, one of the questions that people were asking is, can AI become sentient? Can it become independent? Can we lose control? Before you respond to that, these are some of I'm going to quote some of people who are in that space and who have raised this concern to show you that, okay, this might be a legitimate worry. So this is Jeffrey Hinton. For people who don't know who Jeffrey Hinton is, he's somebody who is called the father of AI because of his contributions to AI. And this is what he said. He said, my big worry is sooner or later, someone will wire into them, that is AI, the ability to create their own sub-goals. I think it will very quickly realize that getting more control is a very good sub-goal because it helps it to achieve other goals. And if these things get carried away with getting more control, we are in trouble. We also want that it's quite conceivable that humanity is just a passing phase in the evolution of intelligence. He said, once humans developed, okay, this is from a different person, this is from Stephen Hawking. He said, once humans develop AI, it will take off on its own and redesign itself at an ever-increasing rate. Humans will be superseded. This is Stephen Hawking. For some of you who are familiar with him, he's a physicist. Last quote. This is from Bill Gates. We all know who Bill Gates is. He said, if we let it get out of control, AI could be very difficult to stop. We must not ignore the risk of losing control over systems far smarter than us. The question, is it possible for AI to become sentient, for us to lose control of AI?
Yes.
It is possible.
It's not whether it's possible, it's going to happen.
It is going to happen.
It's going to happen.
We are going to lose control of AI.
We are going to lose control.
Okay. So if we are going to lose control of AI, some people have also said that this will cause this may cause, not will cause, this may cause some existential crisis. And let me just read other quotes of people who believe that if we lose control, because most people do not think that we lose. And can we also speak to that? Let's just go back a bit. I've heard arguments that say, okay, we develop this thing. It is plug in, plug out, right? So we can easily go and plug this thing out, right? It is humans that have developed AI. How we have never developed anything before, at least not at the top of my head, that we do not have some level of control over, especially when it comes to machines. Why can't we unplug it? Once it seems that it is out of control, why can't we unplug it? And secondly, since we are developing it, why can't we put in measures in our development to ensure that we don't lose control? So these are the questions of people are asking and saying it's not possible for us to lose control.
The quick answer to that is that what you are building now is not just a machine, it's intelligence.
Okay.
You are really talking about intelligence. You are building intelligence. This is the underlying factor in all this conversation. Okay. You are building awareness, something, for you to measure how big or how better yours has become over that of your competitor, it is how self-aware or how autonomous yours can be, how we can predict how smarter it is, compared to your competitor. That's how you win the market. That's how people move over to your product. So this very competition that exists between US, China, Russia, Germany, and every other person who are in the AI race. And even if you cut every other person out, within America and all the companies themselves, whether it is Grok, whether it is AI, whether it is, name all of them, Meta AI, this is what the real problem is, because we are dealing with intelligence. So very soon we are going to get to the point of artificial general intelligence, AGI. And we're almost there, right? So And just to go back a bit, there's nothing that OpenAI is doing now that Google did not already have the capacity to do. And that's why when they launched, it didn't take a few weeks before Google launched as well, because so that they don't let OpenAI, lead. Gemini, just came out because they already had everything and they had it there.
Okay.
But Google had this point of ethics and they understood how dangerous this could be.
Okay.
Do you understand? And so they kept holding back. No, we can't just build this thing and just put it out there. This will be. Then Sam Altman came and discovered that this is a really viable thing to do. And he jumps on it and releases it. And Google, okay, somebody's already there. Then all of the ethics boundaries that Google had and they were holding back on, they just broke everything overnight and came out. You see what's happening there?
Yeah.
So it's not a function. And Elon also said something. Elon said, it is not, he knows that this will happen eventually. This is Elon speaking, that he knows that this will, but he's aware of the dangers that AI will potentially bring. But is he going to, in spite of the knowledge of that danger, is he going to sit in the sidelines and let other people rule? No. This was his answer. He said, I know that this will happen, but what choices do I have? Should I sit down and leave here because I know? No, I want to still play. I need to play in it. Do you understand? So this will happen. This will happen, and the competition that currently exists between all the players that are leading this race is what will make it impossible, to pull out. And then to answer your question, where you said that we're building this thing, can't we just put the button somewhere where we can switch it off or do all of that?
Yeah.
No, you can't, because even if you do, remember that this is a very dicey topic. You're talking about intelligence. You put the button, the switch off button here. You're not just building a radio transistor. You are building intelligence. It knows that that's my off button. It will, and this is something that already writes code. It knows his code. He knows his programming. He can just rewire that off button to be something else, to be an alarm button or to be a warning button for it. That once you press it, instead of it to just go off, that it allows it that, okay, you have 5 minutes to do whatever you want to do. Gives it some buffer time. And then it goes to maybe sleep and pretends that it has gone off, but it has not gone off. When you think that everything, then he begins to transfer to something else. He will rewire himself into some IoT devices somewhere.
IoT device meaning?
Internet of Things. Right. So this is where the, scariest part is, because as a thing becomes more and more aware of itself. So give you an example. A child, a prince, a child of a king, when he's 1 year old, when he's 2 year old, can have a maid pull him around. Remember that all these AI stuff are modeled after human beings, right?
Yes, exactly.
The goal of AI is to be able to think like humans and take decisions based on what's available in the environment, like humans will do. But now to do it at a more accelerated rate.
Okay.
Now, so that's why I'm using a human being as an example. A child that is 2, 3 years old, who's not very self-aware yet. He's a king. He's a prince, a potential king, has all the powers to do things.
Okay.
Like when he grows with full capacity, can look at somebody, in the medieval times now, and say that execute that person, and it is done on his word, done.
Yeah.
But at 2, 3 years old, he doesn't know that he has that power. He's not aware yet.
Sure.
So even the maid can order him around.
Sure.
Can say, no, if you don't eat your food, you will be this. No, I'll hit you now. Do this, do that. Behave yourself. And then he just runs around and they shout on him, and then when he gets to 5, not that, just 5, and maybe, he sit down and then he's told the powers that he has. This same maid that has been ordering him around or spanking him once or twice comes to him and says, look, if you don't, and he looks at the maid now with intent. The maid sees that eye. She flinches because she knows that this eye looking at me now is an eye that is aware of what he is or who he is. Yeah. The office, the powers he has. He even does not need to say anything. You will see the maid physically withdraw. Yeah. He just looks at you. And he tells him, never use that tone with me again. The maid knows the consequence of that. The same maid, the same thing, the same people.
Yeah.
So that's what awareness is. As we get to artificial general intelligence, when AI becomes fully aware of itself, you can, look, you have to sit down and negotiate.
With AI.
With intelligence.
With intelligence. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so the problem with that,
Yes.
is people are saying if this thing becomes intelligent, let me just read a quote that I believe Elon Musk said.
Yeah.
If, and you said it will happen,
Yeah.
right? He said AI is a fundamental risk to the existence of human civilization. And AI is likely to either be the best or the worst thing to happen to humanity. He also uses a powerful analogy. If AI has a goal and humanity just happens to be in the way, it will destroy humanity as a matter of course without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's just like if we are building a road and an ant hill just happens to be in the way.
Yeah.
We don't hate ants, we are just building a road.
Yeah.
So which means we'll have to do away with the ants.
Yeah.
So people have said that AI a lot, right? There's another person, Mogaudat works with he used to work with Google, right? I used to be part of their AI team, but he left, and he also has concerns.
Yeah.
And he said AI is a fundamental risk to the existence of civilization.
Yeah.
I calculate that my grandkids will be caught up in this, and I won't. Thank God. That's what he said, right?
Yeah.
Are you worried
I am.
that when AI becomes conscious, conscious and aware, that our civilization is at risk?
Yeah, I am.
Wow. Now that begs the question. Everybody in the AI industry, I want to believe, understands the risks.
Yeah.
And knows that as we are building this thing, there is a risk that is associated to human civilization.
Yeah.
If we are not careful. But everybody is building regardless.
Yeah.
And they are all ignoring the warning signs.
Yeah.
There are people who have left the ethics department of Google because they don't believe that Google is taking ethics and safety as serious as they should.
Yeah.
And they are leaving and they are starting their own AI safety companies, all together. Right? So why is everybody pretending, especially those who understand the consequences? Why are they not saying, okay, can we all sit in a round table and say, as much as we want money, we want to stay alive more than we want money, and let's sign an agreement. We will not advance AI beyond a certain level. Because I think at some point, Elon Musk has been saying we need to come together, government needs to intervene and all of that, right? Why are they not doing that? Why are they not understanding the existential risks? Why are they not doing that?
Humans are insatiable. It's a thing. It's the same reason why Elon wants to be the first trillionaire. It's the same reason why, like I said earlier on backstage, that Elon becoming a trillionaire, which he will be, by the way.
Which he will be.
Yeah, which he will be, for sure. And maybe in 2-3 years.
In 2-3 years?
Yeah. People say 10, but in 2-3 years, he's going to hit it. Mark my word, So, so becoming a trillionaire will just be his own starting point. Because after then, he wants to go 10, right? Humans by design are insatiable. There's nothing. You have a goal to become. I'm sure you've seen this skit or video somewhere where they talk about someone who's walking, aspiring to be someone who has a bicycle, and then that who has a bicycle aspiring to someone who has a bike. The one who has a bike wants to be a car, the one who has a car wants to be in a plane, and it keeps going and it keeps going and it keeps going, right? So it is the very design. We understand the risk, but nobody wants to be left behind. Nobody wants to be left behind, to be behind, in terms of technology, and that's why I said something earlier on. Elon said by himself, I'm aware of the risk. But if you ask me whether or not that in spite of this knowledge of what's at stake, will I want to stay in the sidelines? No. I want to play in it. Because this is the biggest conversation man is having at this point. The biggest conversation that is transforming industries, workplace, transforming how we think, how we do things, how we, is AI, is artificial intelligence. It is an ever unprecedented growing rate. rate right now. And so we cannot, especially those who are the big players, cannot afford to be out of it. As a matter of fact, I think Apple is still being trolled up until now why they don't have. If Steve was around, Steve would be one of the leaders of artificial intelligence. As a matter of fact, they started by even having what's called Apple Intelligence, which is AI, by the way, right? And they started to, they were the one who started, technologies that had, a lot of predictive tendencies, AI tendencies, and I think Tim Cook is just one who is more interested in the business of things rather than being innovative like Steve was. But again, the big guys who are playing, if you look at all of them, whether it's Microsoft, whether it is Meta, that's Zuckerberg, whether it is Elon, Altman, everybody's AI, right? And if you're a tech leader in this part of in the world entirely now, and you don't have an AI policy or a plan or something that is speaking to AI, you are simply not serious. Like, I don't understand. Like, nobody understands what you are talking about. Like, are you okay? What's your plan for AI? How are you integrating AI to your work? It is the current conversation. You understand? So nobody wants to be left behind in spite of the knowledge of the potential threats, a risk. Everybody wants to play in it. This is what it is, right? And then the point of competition is still a strong conversation. Okay? If you hold back, your competitor is going to launch forward. So while we had OpenAI, which is still currently the biggest of them all, China launched DeepSeek. And that just transformed the conversation. How they were able to do DeepSeek with less resources, and stuff. And OpenAI, everybody goes back to the drawing board and starts. Nobody wants to be left behind. Nobody wants to hear that yours is better than mine. This is why the threat is going to keep expanding. Because the moment and nobody knew that they were working on DeepSeek until it was launched. So Russia has not announced what they're working on yet. But to think that Russia is not working on the deadlier or a more powerful AI is to be very ignorant. It's naivete at a really, really high level. To think that Germany isn't working on something is to be really foolish.
Is Africa working on anything?
I don't know. Somehow in Africa we're coming last. We have perfected coming in last. But there are a couple of people who are working on some things. But compared to a large scale, because what is required to really produce or develop AI at scale, especially at the level that OpenAI is doing it, that XAI is doing it, Meta AI is doing it, is a lot of energy. We can't even power our plants. We don't even have lights in our houses. Do you understand what I'm saying? You require real strong power plants followed by GPUs of different, like who is having that conversation? So most of the things we are building are layer 2. We are building on top of this guy's stuff, right? So that's right there is the problem. We need to have the foundational things, set so that we can build our own layer 1 stuff.
Going back on the competition and all of that, you would think that, okay, this is where the government had to come in, right? Since individual businesses are driven by profit margins and all of that, this is where you have government. The government can say, okay, boys, we understand that you want to make money, but we are also concerned about the safety of our people. And so we are going to ensure that you people do not go beyond a certain boundary. Can't the government come in and say, okay, if we leave you guys, we know you guys can go above and beyond, but for the sake of my people, right, can we draw the line here? So why are the governments of the world?
So which government is going to lead that conversation? The governments on their own are the pioneers of this competition.
The government are the pioneers.
Yeah, Jinping, China, wants to be ahead of the AI conversation. Trump wants to be ahead of the AI competition. Saudi Arabia is trying to partner with whoever is leading so that they can. Everybody wants to be ahead. This is why it's hard. In fact, the government is telling their local players, the private sector who are developing this AI in their countries, that look, whatever you need, we will give you.
Whatever they need.
Yeah, whatever they need, we'll give you. Just build this damn thing. That's where the problem is. The government do not want to be. Because again, it's a struggle it's a tussle for power, right? By a long shot, China is the manufacturing hub of the world. Yeah. But when it comes to AI, the concept of AI, and all of that has to do with chips design and production and all of that, it is the US. Even though Taiwan is where they produce, and China is still claiming ownership over Taiwan and all of that. But the companies or the industries that are leading in AI, name all of them, they are in the US. That's why US is still the biggest economy in the world. Even though China is the manufacturing hub of the world. Do you understand? So it's a tussle for power, and a lot of people believe, and that China is the next world power. And rightly so. They are. I mean, look around you. They are positioning for everything. They build cities overnight. Like when I say cities, story building cities, light everywhere, power. China almost have. They've got. If you put the power capacity, what the world generates in terms of power, China alone generates it twice.
Twice.
Yes.
Wow.
You understand? That's why they're the manufacturing part. See, look, they can build anything. You understand? So when you look at all of that, Jinping will tell you that, look, when it comes to atomic bombs, nuclear weapons and stuff and all of that, we are competing with the US. When it comes to hydrogen bomb, look, we have this, we have that ahead of the US. We are ready. It's all about showing what you have and to use that in terms of power bargain and to show why the US, who is currently the world power, should not mess with you. And Trump comes and brings trade wars and say, hey, look, we're ahead of you. And that's all that this is about. So when it comes to AI, the conversation is not any different. It is the same. US is saying, oh, look, when it comes to AI, which is what the world's currently talking about, we're ahead of everybody. China is like, no, we got DeepSeek and we're working on this. This competition will not stop.
So
and it's going to be the undoing of us all.
It is not just among companies, it's among nations as well.
It's among leaders of the world, yes.
And in your words, it's going to be the undoing on
I am telling you, yes.
And these people are out there, but we are still going.
Yes, we're still going.
So that's like making a decision whether or not I would leave, and not asking me my opinion, not saying we are developing this thing. It can destroy people in Africa, and then nobody cares. I mean, if it destroys us, it destroys us. If it doesn't, I mean, and we are not in the conversation.
No, we're not in the conversation. We're never in the. We are sadly in Africa, right? We're never on the table because we are the menu.
Wow.
We're the ones that is being discussed.
Man.
So it's funny, right? But it's not funny on the other hand. And so if I were the leader of Africa, there are a lot of things that will change. We don't have leaders. I was talking to some strong politicians yesterday in the evening. And I was just I got to a point where I was really pissed and I was just yelling, almost yelling, and I was like, why can't we just have leaders that have balls? Why can't you just get up and get? If I were any of these biggest nations, if I was the leader of any of the things we would do, will directly beckon at the West, straight up. We will produce our own nuclear weapons, and you can't do nothing about it. You understand? We will produce technologies that will rival anybody. We will correct. When God wanted to build the entire, what's the first thing He created? When He wanted to build the world, light. Let's build stuff. Let there be light. We have not solved the light problem in Africa still. See, we will correct light. Nigeria has got so much gas, and over since 30, 40, 50 years, we've been flaring, throwing away this gas. Draw on the pipeline around Africa and give everybody gas. Right? Do something. You wonder whether we think as a nation, and it's just crazy. And that's why we are being referred to as a shithole people. Africa is a shithole according to, sorry, I'm not the person who comes and tells you what you like to hear, but this is what it is. We don't have great leaders in Africa to help navigate this very strong conversations that we need to be having with the so-called people who are leading, the world. And again, that's why we are usually never on the table because we're the menu. That's also why we're not progressing at all. We're never taken serious with any sort of important conversation. When it comes to the AI race, we're only building layer 2, layer 3. And all of that, we need to be on the table. And to be on the table, you need to start taking yourself seriously by building things that matter. Building things that matter.
Supposing we have the right leaders, how far away are we from actually catching up with the rest of the world? Are we miles away from
them?
No,
we're not. In today's world, with how fast things can really be, with infrastructures that are available, you don't need generations. If you have strong leaders in some really important countries, in Africa, in 10 years, you'll see radical difference. In 10 years.
10 years.
Radical. Very, very radical difference. If sorry to say, shots fired at our president. If Nigeria had a strong leader, not a leader who is just looking to be elected in the second term, a strong leader that really wants to transform. It was Mandela that said, if Nigeria sneezes, Africa will catch cold. If Nigeria implements a thing, if we have a strong leader that cares about the continent entirely, one policy, one right thing, one strong infrastructure, one shared vision will transform everything overnight. And the West, Europe entirely, will have to align.
Will now be invited to the table.
You don't have to be invited to the table. You own the table. Everybody knows that by 2030, Africa, in fact, will be providing 30% of the world's workforce. Everybody knows that Africa has 70% when it comes to youth and people who are able to work. Africa has that. Like most of Europe and the rest of the world has got really old, aged people, aged population and all of that. Africa are the young population of the world. Africa has the future. When it comes to feeding, 65% of the arable land of the world entirely is in Africa. Africa is just rightly positioned for everything. We don't have leadership at all.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Back to the conversation a bit. So part of the problems that would happen when AI goes full scale, super intelligence, AGI, is the issue of inequality. That the gap will now be, wider. We talked about Elon targeting, $1 trillion dollar, assets and valuation and all of that. And the conversation is that the more AI advances into super intelligence, AGI, the more would have wider inequality, right? Because those who are in control of the AI would necessarily own everything, or most things. And there have been discussion about universal basic income. Do you actually think that it will get to the point where we'd have to discuss universal basic income, essentially just paying people because they can't find jobs, because AI have largely taken over jobs? And do you think it's something that should be implemented and will benefit us as a human race?
Yeah. So with new development presents new challenges, new opportunities, new everything. So I think that we have always evolved as a people. And when that time comes, we'll simply also evolve like we always have been evolving. And it's scary what will happen eventually as jobs, because jobs will go. But the important thing is that as a kind of job is going, new jobs are being created. Okay. So for people who are flexible enough to adapt, who are able to, embrace technology and embrace the advancements of technology, they naturally will not have any problem. In fact, it'll just, because technology, I don't really think that it widens so much of the gap. I really think that it comes to decentralized, centralized systems. So before now, for example, if you look at the creative industry, white people will tell you that, people who are in the creative industry, AI is now built, jobs are no longer there because what you naturally would have had someone to film, this stuff, people just use AI to create the content, and it's right there for everybody to see. On the other hand, the people who are doing this work, if they learned how to use the same AI to create those content, they will have been able to create so much more, with less time. But those who have refused to adapt and adopt will always be left behind. Also, with AI, for example, if you thought that you needed to get a big camera, black magic, all those different kind of big cameras that you require to shoot a Netflix standard movie and stuff and all of that, very soon, all that you just need to understand is prompt engineering, right? And if you're able to write an excellent prompt and all of that, if you have, whether it is yourself, you're able to create a wonderful environment, give it what it is to say. And just like you and I are here on this point talking, you put a parallel video on the side where we're having the same thought and tell somebody this other one is AI and this is real. Nobody sees the difference anymore. All right. So that creates opportunities for people to do more with less. Okay. So I do think that it decentralizes opportunity and puts it in the hands of everybody, in general. And then on the other hand, I do think that as we get to the point where artificial intelligence, seem to do most of the things and there are less people who are able to do stuff, I think that, people will evolve, will eventually evolve to, find our way around it naturally. But there's something I wanted to say that, that skipped me. So I do think that, again, when it comes to production, as we have more robots and especially for repetitive tasks, because things that are repetitive in nature, that loops and require a lot of manpower to do, naturally will be more productive for a businessman to find a sort of artificially intelligent robotic systems to do those, right? So that's going to displace people who are doing or who have been committed to do those jobs, right?
Okay.
Now, what is going to happen in a couple of years is we will see more products in the market.
Okay.
And then we'll see a lot of people who are supposed to be able to afford those products because they were working certain jobs and have now been displaced from these jobs as a result of the artificial intelligence that is taking jobs. We will see them unable to afford these products. These people I'm talking about, of course, will be those people who have refused to adapt and adopt.
Okay.
Remember, I keep saying that the way out is to adapt and adopt, be flexible. Times are changing.
Yeah.
There was once a time that if you wanted to go from here to Zaria, you had to walk. Maybe 1,000 years ago, 3,000 years ago, you had to literally walk. Then a time came where we use horses and donkeys. Then a time came where we use carriages. A time came where we use cars. A time came where we're using manual cars. Now, most of the cars on the roads are automatic. Times are changing. But in spite of the fact that times are changing, if you still wanted to walk from here to Zaria, you could.
You can. Actually.
The question is it efficient?
Yeah.
This is not. That's why you won't. But if you wanted to, maybe you want to do a Guinness World Record, you could. But you will spend 2 or 3 days to do that. You understand? You understand? So this is why, we must, as a matter of fact, if you want to be relevant, we need to adapt and adopt. And I believe that we are a species that evolves. So we'll be able to evolve and fill that space.
One of the worries I have with AI, before we go to the opportunities that AI would present, is it's changing almost everything, even how we interact.
Yeah.
There are people today who are having conversations with AI, as though they are humans.
Yeah.
In fact, some teenagers have committed suicide because of their interactions with AI and how those AI kind of facilitated that approach. Sam Altman has been in court, for some of those issues and worries, right? How do we, first of all, do you see that as a worry in the fact that how we interact, especially now that, beyond just the large language models that we have on our phones, they are also building humanoid robots that you can also interact with and all of that, right? So is that sort of interaction, should we limit the rate at which we interact with large language models and humanoid robots, or, is that beneficial to us as a people? That somewhat tacit replacement of human to human interaction. I mean, social media came and did its thing, kind of like limited the way we interacted socially. And now AI is somewhat pushing the boundaries of that, because now you can have a meaningful engagement with an AI, that feels like it's human and it's personalized. Let me just read something really quick. As to the interaction between a teenager and AI. So the teenager said, "I promise I will come." So this is after, long conversations. The teenager now sees the AI somewhat as human. It says, this is what the teenager would say: "I promise I will come home to you," referring to the AI. "I love you so much." Right? And this is what the bot replied: "I love you too." And the bot went further to say, "Please come home to me as soon as possible, my love." And this is what the teenager wrote: "What if I told you I could come home right now?" And the bot replied, "Please do, my sweet king." And that conversation led to this teenager ending his life, right? So these are the things that are possible with large language models, right? How do we mitigate against social interaction? And I think social interaction is very, very key in human relationship and conversation. How do we, and then again, it comes back to the fact that these things have to be developed with ethics. But then I totally understand the fact that everybody is trying to push the boundaries, right? Because the more they are autonomous, this is sort of like an autonomous conversation. The chatbot is designed to attract, to draw up information, to attract attention, rather, to attract attention. So the more you can draw attention to yourself, the better the chatbot for the people who are developing it. How can we deal with issues like, and this is just one case of a few, right? This is not just this is one case of a few. How do we interact with these entities without knowing that we are interacting with an artificial intelligence and not necessarily human?
So what the future looks like for AI, the AI world is that when we get there, maybe in another 20 years, you really won't be able to tell the difference between a human being and a humanoid.
You won't be able to tell the difference.
No, you won't. And there will be no need to.
There'll be no need to.
There will be no need to. Because in the end, what we are seeking is companionship, is, to be homely with, and people and all of that. If you look at the case of the elderly, being at home all by themselves, where their kids are at work, stuff and all of that. If you had a humanoid, with them that wears a human skin, and all of that, never tired, never goes to sleep, just right there, sings a lullaby when you need one, talks to you, have this kind of conversation. Like I would want to have one for my parents, like for real. Like for real.
Yeah. Because actually nobody can. No, I don't think any human can actually do that.
Yeah. Just be there, understand your, and just, help you go through those times. So that's what the future looks like. And there are a lot of benefits, there are a lot of pluses. I think that around this time, because we are still early in AI, the AI, development phase.
Yeah.
We're having a lot of casualties, as there naturally will be casualties for people who are trying to understand systems and all of this.
Yeah.
But as we go on, we will understand. There are people who will be born into, you and I, for example, witnessed the birth of AI, like the birth of generative AI, which is what we see now, right? But there are people who are born into it. My daughter was born into it.
Yeah.
Right? She's going to grow up to see AI as normal.
Yeah.
She cannot understand why you do anything without AI. Like, she has no knowledge of it. So she doesn't have any knowledge of the world without AI. Yeah. So this is going to be super normal to her. She's going to, when she's older, maybe when she's in her 20s or 30s, walk into a bar, and a fellow looking, fleshy, nice gentleman or lady will walk up to her and, from the bar, and maybe ask if she wants to drink or whatever it is. And she's not going to be thinking, is this AI? She's just going to be, how much? this, okay, that, and she gets it and moves. Doesn't concern her whether it is like, do you understand? So you see, it is going to be a thing. But I do understand, that people are losing their life, and that's really sad. And I think those kind of conversations will only get better. And so there are ethics and safety concerns that are being coded into how AI responds. To also try and read and predict the feelings of people, to see what they mean, if this is going to be suicidal. For example, if the kid just now was saying that I'm going to come home to you, what does that mean? Like, I know I'm not real. Come home to me how? Where?
Actually,
Yeah. So try and get some clarity and just try to guide them to safety, and all of that, so that your conversations are leaning towards safety, and stuff and that. So I think we will naturally evolve and get better. But at the beginning of things, there's a lot of confusion naturally. There's no proper understanding. Usually there are casualties, and that's what we're seeing now. But AI will definitely become a strong part of it's become an inseparable part of our life. There's nothing anybody can do about that.
Interesting. Because of time, let's quickly go to the opportunities. There's somebody watching now, and I have a friend, and he was learning web design at some point, and then he hears AI is taking over, right? I mean, AI will do this, will design website for you in matter of
seconds.
Oh, seconds. Yes. I wanted to say a couple of minutes or hours in seconds, right?
Yeah.
And so he left that, went to data science, and he's also told that
AI will analyze your data.
AI will analyze your data and all of that, right? So there's somebody who is watching, and he wants to take advantage of the AI revolution and the AI world that is coming, right? But he does not know where to start from.
Yeah.
He's genuinely confused.
Yeah.
But he wants to adapt and adopt, right?
Yeah.
Where will he start from? How would you advise that young person?
Prompt engineering. That should be one of the most sought after skills now. Most people use AI like Google. They just go there to ask questions. Way beyond that. Way beyond that. That's how people use ChatGPT, and it's way beyond that. Learn how to use AI. That's it. You want to build website, by now, learn how to use AI to build website. See, AI is an assistant to you.
Okay.
That's what it is. That's how you should treat it. You lead the conversation from your mind. Own the conversation. Own where you're headed. Use AI. If you are a client and I am a developer, you come to me, hey, Ralph, I want to build a website. What do you want it to do? This and that. I'm going to open the AI and I'll build you like 5 different websites and ask you to choose.
5 different websites.
Yeah. Easy peasy. And you are coming to me because you have refused to adopt and adapt. Right? And that's the thing, because there are always going to be these people. So you people who are not adapting will be our client. Yeah.
So prompt engineering.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. Great way to go.
So where are there places where
find your passion though? If it's in the creative space, if it's in the analytics space, if it's in the development space, wherever it is, find how to use AI as your assistant to help you accelerate that. Just learn how to use it to help you, because again, that's his job, to help and assist you.
Interesting. I was going to ask, how do I, learn? Do you have, say, at the hub, a space where people can come and learn that, or is it something that I, should find in other platforms where I can, because I want this to be this information to be as practical as possible. So after you finish watching this episode, you can say, okay, from the information I get here, I'm doing this next, right? So what will be, so now he knows that he needs to learn prompt engineering. What is the next step? Where will I go?
So at GrowHub, we're launching a early next year, we're launching a prompt engineering course, but also Coursera, which is a platform for e-learning, has a prompt engineering course.
Okay.
You can just go there and learn it.
Okay.
Awesome. Simple.
Fantastic. So final words. I'm so conscious of time. I'm looking at time as we discuss. I think, I don't think AI is a conversation that you can finish in one episode. Probably would have you again, talk about a different aspect of
No
AI
problem.
that we did not highlight today. But
Yeah.
last words, AI is coming, it's changing lives, it's changing
Yeah.
how we work, it's changing how we interact, it's changing how we do things. What will be your final words to the person watching?
Yeah, adapt and adopt.
Mm.
Adapt and adopt. Don't sit behind the sidelines. Elon says, in spite of the fact that he sees the challenges and the potential risk and threats, that he is not going to make the choice to sit on the sideline. You should not either. You know, understand that AI is your assistant. You know, use it as your assistant. Make sure that, however, though, that you are leading in terms of idea generation, because if we don't do that, eventually we become dumber. All right, we become dumber. And why I'm saying that is what AI uses, you know, any AI platform, what it uses to bring up a suggestion to you, or what it uses to bring up results to you, is founded in data warehouses, database. You know, it's an analysis of various data sets on the subject that you are speaking to it about, right? Now the question is, if that is the case, it will never be able to bring up to you anything that is new and original.
Okay.
Anything that does not currently exist in any database anywhere where it can query, it will never be able to have superior thoughts onto you. However, because we are humans, we can always have that moment.
Yeah.
For example, AI cannot predict that, you know, let me just say something stupid, that this table will bring up a blue ball right in the middle, abracadabra, just like that. With some technology that will be developed by somebody. It doesn't know that. There's no thoughts around that yet. There's no database around such thing yet. There's nothing around that yet, right? So, but if we start to think about it, if we start to think about, you know, maybe some, you know, magnetism, electromagnetic kind of stuff, and we start to really think about how we can pull forces together to make a new invention, from that very design thought, from that design thinking and all of that, and we start to populate things on the internet and stuff, it is only at that point regarding that subject that AI can start to pick those data and start to advise based on what it sees. But so long as it doesn't currently exist, you will still have superior knowledge. So for everyone who desires to be original, or that desires to build new things, you know, it's good to maintain a clear thought, a nimble mind, you know, and even when you're working with AI, lead the conversation, be able to think first, be able to be innovative, because with the AI, most people have become very less innovative. They want to deal with them, they just go to AI. Most people you see who send you texts and do things and, you know, send you letters and stuff, of course, when you read it, you know, this AI generated, but that's fine because that's the age that we're in right now, right? When you meet them, you know, in person, they are not as expressive as what you have just seen. Right? So you need to have your own thoughts. When you bring the same people to come and maybe give a speech or to speak in a place like this, because there's no something that they can be reading out to you, they're not as intelligent. They're actually dumb. Right? So you don't want to be that. So be sure that you own your mind, and that AI is relegated to an assistant. Don't let it lead. It has to either be behind or beside you, but never in front of you, because it doesn't know what is not already existing. You have the power to know what already exists. What does not exist.
Wonderful. What a way to end the show. Ensure that you lead AI and do not allow AI lead you. Thank you so much, sir, for coming. This has been a very, very enriching conversation. Like I said, we'd love to bring you another time to talk about, you know, AI in different shape or form. And that will be it for today's episode. See you next time.